Alright, guys, so this is Pablo, your Ruiz Vargas, your host from the PF Music Podcast. Make sure that you subscribe on YouTube, Rumble, and BitChute. And also, if you're listening to the podcast and the Anchor.fm, make sure that you share the content with the others. I'm going to really appreciate it. Again, this is episode 112 from the P Alpha Music Podcast. Very, very excited. I'm not going to lie. Very interesting day, but we're here. That's what it really matters. What matters is that we're here, we're alive, we're secure, nothing wrong has happened, and I'm very grateful that I'm here for you guys. Today's topic is from the episode number 112, is cultivating humility. Okay, and we're gonna make a lot of differences between what is humility and what is being weak. Right? I think we conflict both of them. Right? We're trying to be so nice, right? That people are kicking us around. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna discuss what is humility, how we're gonna cultivate the humility, and then I'm gonna give you my 2 cents. Like always, let's just define what's humility. Humility is the quality of being humble, right? Humility as a low self-regard, a sense of unworthiness. In a religious context, humility can mean a recognition of self in relation to a deity or deities, or however you say that, as subsequent submission to say deities as a member of a religion. Deities or deities? Yeah, one of those two, right? So it's basically recognizing a kind of submission, right? But we're not going that way, right? We're not going we're going more to the modest area, low view of one importance, or stepping back a little bit. I'm not putting ourselves too much into the picture, right? It's time for letting others, right, take the spot, I will say, right? Not bragging, of course, and recognizing that you're good in your area, but recognizing others, right? That's humility. Basically, you're doing great projects, and you don't do it all yourself. You just give props to other people that working behind the scenes. That's humility, right? Now let's just go with things that can cultivate humility, okay? And there's hundreds of these. How you can cultivate humility. The first one is spend time listening to others, right? Now, listening to others is a skill, okay? Listening is a skill. Let me start from there. Listening is not something that you all of a sudden just snap and you just also know how to do it. No, it's a skill. Why is that? Because we always want to talk about us all the time. So spending time and just listening to others can give us like a sense of a self of community and social awareness, I would say. Yeah? So when we understand that you're not the only one going through these problems, that there might be other people going through their problems. When you recognize that people have it worse than you, right? When you recognize that you might be a little bit too much in your head, it's okay to listen to others people, right? Sit down, let people talk about their problem, and just be quiet. You're with your partner, be quiet. When your wife is just talking to you, she want to tell you something, just be quiet, right? It's time to listen. Now, do not be a pillow. Do not be a wet pillow. Nobody wants to be with a wet pillow. Nobody want to identify with a wet pillow. Nobody wants to sleep with a wet pillow, right? Don't be that. When I say it's humble, just take the information, be that character, or know your position in that moment, and just listen. And you don't have to even give your opinion, right? Because this is what happens a lot of times. We want to listen, but we want to give their opinions. That's not our job. When you want to cultivate humility, is your job is just basically to listen to other people, and respect their space as it should. Okay. Next one is practice mindfulness and focus on the present. For example, do not worry too much in the future. You can't control it. Do not worry too much in the past. You can't control it either. But worry what is the now. The now is what matters the most, because it's what you can control, and it only can control like instantly. After that, there's nothing else, right? It's basically accepting your own faults, accepting that things happen. You don't have to judge yourself, and always strive to the fact that every time you take a step in your present is to reach out your goals at the end of the day. Okay, you don't have to just be too worried about that. There's enough time to just think about those things, but for now it's important to be present. Okay. Another one is be grateful, right? Do you pray? I mean, do you practice your religion's belief on any religion to believe? But are you grateful enough when you go every time you're in bed? You're grateful that you have food, you have shelter, right? All those things. Are you grateful enough for that, right? That's a kind of humility, and it's important for us to think like this. Why? Because we want. Sometimes humility can go a simple way, where we thinking too much about the things that we don't have, but we don't think about the things that we have, right? The things that we have, like I said, good shelter. I mean, good place to sleep. I mean, food. All those small things that really matter. When we really think about it, it's not as bad as it sounds. So it's important for us to really understand that, hey, we should be grateful, and grateful to be alive. Okay? Another one is asking for help. Very important. We think that we're mortal, that we know everything, that we don't need anything besides our mind, that somehow we haven't got to where we want to go, but we know everything. No. Like I always say, step back. And when it's time to reach out to others, it's time to stretch your hand and say, you know what? I might need help here. I might need help. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? That's why therapists, they exist. That's why talking to your partner exists. That's why having a walk exists, because you might need help. That's why reaching out to some people to just help you out with your project is okay. Reaching out to need help is okay. Now it's up to them if they want to help you or not, but you already did your job. And you say, you know what, maybe the fact that I didn't reach out to people, hey, that's fine. At least I've reached out to people because I know I don't know it all. Okay? So when you practice that, you cultivate that, you get into that self of humility, that in the end run, right, it will give you great opportunities to just be surrounded by people that would like to be with you. Okay? Seek feedback from others on a regular basis. This one is hard for me because of course my ego tends to just get in the way, and when I do a lot of cold calls, I always ask my wife to give me feedback about how am I sounding, how am I acting, am I acting too rough, what you buy from me, right? All those things, right, are hard to get because ego wants to always get in the way. Okay? Egos always want to be there. Ego wants always to tell you that you're perfect, but in reality, that's not the case. Okay? It is important for leaders, right? But it's important for us as leaders, right, to understand that feedback is what makes us better. This thing called skin, right, need to get tougher, and the way it gets tougher is by getting feedback. Feedback, why? Because we need to understand that we're not perfect, okay? And we have room to improve. We have not only room to understand that we need to improve, but the more we get feedback from others, the better we will get. right? And it's not feeling that they might know better than you. They might know things that you don't know. Now, I understand there's certain situations where you can hear the feedback, but the feedback doesn't sound genuine. Now, you understand. You have two options. You take the feedback, or you just take the feedback. You can just take the feedback and just walk away. Simple as that. Right? You don't have to tell them anything. You just take the feedback. Thank you so much. Just walk away. Either way, you have to take the feedback. But most importantly, it tells you more about yourself, but also it tells a lot from that person. Remember, a lot of these things, right, when you're dealing with humans, and I want to say humans, but people, right? Behaviors tell more when they say. How they treat other people. How they relate with other people. How they handle situations. How they handle situations in, let's say, in very high stress environments. Those small details, right, determines a lot whether you are very checked on, or you're humble, or you have humility. Okay, it's important that you put yourself in those small stress situations. That way you can know where your bar is, whether you want to just check yourself a little bit more, or you might be too comfortable where you just lay in your back, right, in your bed, right. That's way too comfortable. So you need a little bit of tension, a little bit of spice in your life, just to get yourself out of moving, right? Seek feedback on regular basis, right? Hey, don't take it personal. Hey, it's all business, right? Now, review your actions against language pride. This one is very important because we can get too much in ourselves, in our head, way too much, where we think that we're Superman, right? We do no wrong. We just treat bad people. We smug people, snobbery, vanity, unpleasant words, all those things, right? Unpleasant things, right? Making fun of people, right? When people are down, you just keep putting them down, right? All those things, you have to be very aware about those things. And this one says a lot. This one destroys families. This one destroys friendships. This one destroys a lot of things. Just because the way you express yourself is not carefully thought. Only for that. Arrogance. Think about arrogance. Pride and arrogance. I'm a prideful man. I'm very unapologetic for being a man, right? But I recognize, right, that if I'm gonna say that, right, I have to just allow and get what it comes with it. You see what I did there? I'm a prideful man, but at the same time of being prideful, I have to get whatever comes with it. Okay? Because things do have consequences. Okay? Don't be pride and arrogance. Be prideful, chest out, and just walk around like you own the world, right? That's arrogance. You don't need that. Okay? And then you start treating people bad. You start talking to them down. You start having conflict with people. Mouth talking, gossiping, and people was behind. Don't do that, right? Humble yourself. Have some humility, right? Let's just use that word right there, right? And just make sure that you just keep those words for yourself. If you not have something good to say, don't say it. I'm not saying don't tell the truth. To always tell the truth. But when it comes to things that are not even truthful, don't say anything. Just be quiet. People don't have to hear your bad mouth. Okay? It's like Jordan Peterson says in one of his laws for the 12 rules book from Jordan Peterson. He said, if you're not gonna lie, how we say, if you're not gonna tell the truth, at least don't lie. If you're not gonna tell the truth, at least don't lie. How hard is that? Because that means that you, at the end of the day, if you think about that, right, you have to be quiet, right? Because sometimes we want to oversell ourselves, so we start saying things that we're not supposed to say. So therefore, it's time for us to cultivate some humility, right? Now, I'm not saying at the end of the day, right, become a weakling, okay, where you're so humble that people just, confuse you with kindness, and they start confusing kindness with weakness. I'm not talking about that, because kindness is not weak, right? But people think so. That now you have to just fix yourself and sell your kindness into a different way, where you just behave a certain way, where people are willing to be want to be around you, or want to be around you, right? But respect you. They know you're kind. You know you're humble, but they know that you're kind of humble, but with a lot of weight. That when you speak to them, looking at them into their eyes, you speak with weight, and that's the most important thing, right? When you start cultivating humility, humble, you're gentleman, right? When you have integrity, you remember these things start transforming. Okay, these things start getting an effect on you, where there's lines that cannot be crossed, right? And people's gonna start dealing with you differently. I learned that myself, because I was noticing that every time that I will have an interaction with someone, I would just see certain patterns, and I said, you know what, might be that I need to just start acting certain way, or review the way I'm just interacting, because this is happening too often. Let me step back, let me review how I'm behaving, and maybe I might have a different outcome. Exactly right. More conscious about my behavior, more conscious the way I was expressing myself, more conscious about my reaction to certain people, and people started respecting, and people started having a different approach to myself. Okay? Well, guys, this was episode 112 from the PF Music Podcast. I really appreciate it for you guys listen to the episode. Remember, you can just go to YouTube, Rumble, BitChute. Make sure that you subscribe and like the content. If you're listening to the podcast, Anchor.fm, where I'm hosting my podcast, hey, share with your families, share with your friends. It's important for them to just listen to the information they needed. They might have a different idea, a different approach to things, to situations. At least I'll be very pleased.